So the New York Times just labeled Kendrick Lamar as the greatest rapper of this generation. And when they are referring to this generation, I think it's safe to assume they mean the artists who emerged during the years of 2010 through 2014. Artists like J. Cole, Drake, Future, Big Sean, Big Crit, Joey Badass, Freddie Gibbs, Nipsey Hussle, and Mac Miller. And out of all these choices, I can see why the New York Times would select Kendrick. It's not all that shocking. It actually makes the most sense when considering what their criteria is likely. It's probably based on album sales, popularity, impact, the artist's message, the overall artistry, songwriting, and consecutive album runs. Kendrick would come across as the most balanced of all the artists listed and the one who checks the most boxes from their more mainstream perspective. Sure, Drake and J. Cole check off on a lot too, but Drake albums tend to walk that fine line between straight rap and pop, whereas Kendrick almost always stays within the confines of traditional rapping. Drake's content also isn't as thoughtful or deemed as deep as Kendrick's. I mean, Drake isn't likely to win a Pulitzer Prize for his concepts on any of his albums anytime soon. And for J. Cole, while one could argue that he is very deserving of the title of the greatest, he just doesn't have the mainstream reach of Kendrick. The internet is not shutting down whenever Cole releases a project at this point, nor does he have as strong of a consecutive album run as Kendrick, as much as I like J. Cole. And for Future, he has had a crazy impact and influence on the game since the jump. There's no denying that. Future is definitely a legend and the face of lit music to this day, but his content is going to be looked at as more one-dimensional and not positive enough. But when we talk about consecutive album runs, and this is a big point, Kendrick really has the best out of all the artists in his era, whether you like them or not. And no, his latest album is not included in this run. But one can make a strong argument that Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Damn all represent this 4-album run. I mean, 2 of these albums, Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly, are labeled as modern day classics. The culture just deems them to be that great. And it's just kind of accepted at this point. So even though I would personally prefer to listen to artists like Big Crit, who's very underrated, J. Cole, and Freddie Gibbs more than Kendrick, I can see why Kendrick was chosen at the greatest. I'm not mad at this, surprised, or outraged at all. Given the context to which the New York Times is judging, Kendrick appears to be the most complete, all around, and balanced artist of the bat. But I want to highlight there are rappers in the underground who are just as good, if not better than Kendrick at rapping, in my opinion. Artists who I, for sure, listen to more on a daily basis, but I completely understand why they were not selected. You know, I'm not tripping that Bodie James, Ransom, Conway, and Rome Streets weren't mentioned. Although, I will say if we were to have a Mount Rushmore of the 2010 rappers, the following should definitely appear beside Kendrick. That would be Drake, Future, and J. Cole. And I think those 4 artists would best represent the popularity and impact that the 2010 generation had to offer. But let me know in the comment section what you thought about Kendrick being selected as the greatest rapper of this generation, and what would your Mount Rushmore of artists from the 2010 era be? It's your boy Mixtape Moth. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. As always, it's peace and blessings. Happy holidays. One.